So let me ask you, is this tour just because a lot of people perceive you, I don't know you that well, but I've met you a few times and you're a pretty funny guy, I can tell you've got a fun side to you, but a lot of people...
Not on this tour, but everybody else is so much funnier.
Right. But, you know, you are perceived as a kind of sort of quote-unquote serious musician, and I don't think that is too mean because you've made some pretty serious, you know, compositions and products. Is this tour just fun? Was this just a Steve Vai? You know what? I'm not gonna make, you know, a quadruple total topographic oceans like record or whatever. I'm just gonna go out with a bunch of guys and just have some fun.
Well, I love touring.
Right.
I like surrounding myself with really great musicians. The idea came to me because I like doing things, not to sound pretentious or anything, but I love doing things that I've never seen before. I like pushing my own envelope. I like raising my own bar,
right.
You know? And when the idea came to do this 5-piece, you know, I saw it in my head as something that would be really entertaining for people who love the guitar.
Yeah.
And it is. You know, you get such a smorgasbord on this tour. You've got Tosin Abasi, who's just completely different than the rest of us.
Yeah.
And he's just... You know, he's got this whole thing going on that's a new level.
Right.
It's totally different. You know, it's this subculture of music, of metal, that he's cultivating and has done such an incredible job at. And I knew in my head it would add a dimension to the show.
Because he's the one kind of strange, but...
If you look at it as a whole, we're all strange.
Yeah.
You know, like... And Nuno, who is not really touted as an instrumental rock guitar player who makes instrumental records, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't do that kind of thing, but he is an incredible guitar player. He's just a overall well-rounded, he's very intuitive.
Right.
He's really with it, and I don't know that many people that have as much passion for their ideas. I mean, he's really got a lot going on. And he was able to put a segment of the show together that I think is really effective, and it's diverse.
Wow.
And then you got, you know, Zach, who is just an animal. You know, Zach is like, you know, give me the chainsaw, and I'm going to play for you today. And he's just amazing.
He is a Viking. There's some people that, you know, he is a Viking.
He's just so great, you know.
And he's funny as well.
He's so funny. Like, you can't believe when these guys work together. And then, of course, there's Yngwie, who, you know, no one can ever doubt that he's a historical guitar figure, and he's a legend. And he created a style and a whole another subculture kind of a thing that was very inspiring for a lot of players, including myself.
Right. And that was sort of my next question, like how, because, you know, and this is not a criticism because I love this, I know a lot of people do this. I mean, you could be a guy that could, you know, take one note and punch it in 85 times, and there's people on this tour that would play 85 notes, punched in once, if you know what I'm saying. Do you come away from these things writing different things, or do you find yourself playing different things? Like, you know, sometimes if you hang around in a bar that plays pop music, you can go away with pop melodies in your head.
Sure, I think I like doing that. You know, for me, through my whole career, first of all, I think that every other guitar player is better than me in some way. You know what I mean? Really. I prefer the way I play over anybody on the planet.
Yeah, of course.
I like the way I play.
Yeah.
It's quirky. I think my strength is in my quirkiness and my abstractness. I like that.
Yeah.
But anybody on this tour has, you know, it's not impossible to, on one level, technique beyond me, you know?
Well, I think what puts you above, this is just my opinion, but what puts you above a lot of people is if you never let guitar and music separate.
I turn my back to everybody else's opinion and perspective.
Right.
That's my strength.
Yeah.
And that allows me to enjoy what everybody does, and it allows me to absorb what they do that I feel can improve me. I can watch Zach, I can watch Justin, I can watch Yngwie, and I can see, and of course there's things they do that I find really wonderful, and there's things that are not, you know, I mean, that you can talk to any one of them, and if you got the truth out of them,
Yeah.
they'd be able to say, you know, tell you how they really feel about me. And there's be things that they like and things they don't like.
Yeah, but you're not backing track A with solo B, you know, like a lot
Sorry?
of, you're not one of these guys who, you know, who's got some generic backing track that they're just shredding over. You know, you're a composer. That to me is the strength.
Well, that's something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I was always attracted to being a
Yeah,
composer
it all makes
my whole
sense
life.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's flowed into this project in that I did the arrangements
Right.
for everybody because
Oh, cool.
yeah, because you get 5 guys on stage playing the guitar, you got to be careful, or else it'll sound like a
Yeah.
abysmal disaster. It'll sound like noise.
And what was the initial phone calls? What was the initial reactions like when where you are now with this tour and what you're doing, did you envisage it being like that, and did it end up exactly how you envisaged it, or did it change, or did what
Well,
happened?
you know, everybody has strengths and everybody has things that they're comfortable doing and they're comfortable not doing. So you have to honor those things.
Right.
Because with guys like this, you can't say, no, you got to do this or you're going to be fired.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not what I want. I want everybody to be comfortable with what they're playing. And yeah, I brought things in that some guys just said, I just can't do that.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, let's work around it, and that's how you make it work. I mean, there's a bunch of pieces that I orchestrated for us that we're not doing,
Right.
Because they're just uncomfortable for some people. We didn't have the time, and they
Right.
didn't, you know, and that's fine. There is enough that I am very satisfied with
Right.
the vision I had.
Right.
You know, and I say it's my vision, but it was really, I shared the vision, and it resonated with these guys, you know, and so far so good.
Excellent. Now, for somebody who pretty much created Steve Vai, like Steve Vai, the rock star, musician, successful person, you created that yourself, and we know that because
Well,
we
everybody
said.
creates who they are.
But my point is that you didn't go to a record company or someone didn't come along and go, hey baby, I can make you a star. So for somebody who cultivated that, you know, with the flexible and with everything else, you know, how do you see the future of the music business in terms of people being able to be successful, make money with music? Back then you found a way, and back then I would have said it was extremely tough, but you did it. You're not going to be one of these guys, I could mention famous people who just go on TV and just complain about Silicon Valley. You know, have you ever spent any time thinking about this is how this could be solved, or this is what we could do?
Well, everything is constantly changing always. That's the world. Things come and go, come and go, come and go. You come and go. I'm going to come and go. And if something doesn't go, it means that you went before it. Because everything is perishable, you know?
Yeah.
So the way that in the music business, for instance, if you examine it, if you just take a bird's eye perspective without any opinion, you can see the mechanism at work, and it's just technology evolving. But there's 2 things that are always at the core. One is the creative impulse of a musically creative person. You need that.
Right.
You got to have that. And that is available in all genres, whether it's rap, punk, whatever's coming next,
Yeah.
you know, whatever was. And then you need people that know how to get it out into the world and sell it and market it, you know. And right now, and the technology is constantly changing. It's always in flux. And it's, you know, in the 80s it was very different. You make a lot of money because of the formats. But and we had a wonderful discussion about it last night on the bus. You know, the predicament.
Right.
But it's my feeling that right now it's just in a flux. But creative people are going to figure it out, and they're going to find ways, even more powerfully, more independently. That's one of the things I like about technology. And when listen, if I was going to give any message to any kid out there that is scratching his head going, how am I going to make this work? That message would be, the first thing you have to understand is you can make it work. There is a way.
Yeah.
There's not just one way. There's many, many ways. Until you believe that, you will not make it work. And So that's the first thing, and you can. That's by the, I'm here to tell you, you can, and of course you will, but only unless your desire to be creative eclipses your insecurities and fears that you can't.
Yeah, totally.
When you reach that, and you can tell by looking in your own head and listening to the voice in your head that never shuts up. If you're capable, and most people aren't. If you're capable of identifying the quality of your thoughts that are running around in that little voice that never shuts up, that's chronic in your own head, if you're capable of separating yourself from it and identifying the quality of the thoughts in your head, that's the first step to waking up. And that's where we're heading. And then, if you can actually decide, I don't want to think that thought. I want to feel good.
Yeah.
I want to be creative, and it's just the power of positive thinking. But that's the crux right there. That's the thing. That's the hardest thing for a human being to do. First of all, see that they're thinking thoughts that are destructive, and that's all karma is just the manifesting of your thoughts.
Yeah, you think yourself into trouble.
That's all it is. And your external world is just a reflection of your internal. It's all there is to it.
Yeah.
But until you can see that the quality of your thoughts is creating your life experience.
Yeah.
And take hold of those thoughts and say, I don't. And the problem is it feels in a perverse way satisfying to be miserable.
Well, it's sometimes easier than
it's easier
trying.
to be miserable. It's because the ego gets an identity from being the miserable one.
Yeah.
And criticizing, this is wrong, and there's wrong with this, and everything's wrong, and these people are screwed up, and but all you're doing is sealing your own fate when you do that. So when you can, first of all, identify with what you want, not what you don't want.
Right.
And then point your attention to that, then you're on the road. And in the music business, in any business, that's always the way it's been.
Right.
The ones that sit there and complain are the ones that perish. They're not going to be able to do it. But the ones that say, okay, how can I make this work for myself? I got all these tools. How can I use technology to benefit myself? And then, I could just rattle off a few things. Just the way the internet is now makes it infinitely more accessible for people to promote themselves if they got the brain muscle.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You can reach millions of people without the aid of a record company if you're creative enough.
Yeah.
If you can create something that carries that energy.
Yeah.
There's no way that it's not going to find it. There's no way.
Yeah. Even just being funny on an iPhone can attract.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Now these days you can do it yourself. You can create a YouTube video. You can put your music out digitally and be independent. You can market yourself if you want, or you can get with people that can, market yourself. But the first and foremost, you have to be enthusiastic about your own creative ideas.
Right.
Then not the sun, the moon, and the stars will not stop you, because that's the way it's always been.
That's what it'd be. And talking of creative ideas, Generation X record?
Well, I never know.
You've done these very cool arrangements. I have to say I've not had a chance to see the show, but I'm going to try and get on for tonight if I can.
Well, we only do a couple of tracks where we play together.
Right.
All five of us.
Okay.
I wanted to give it a few weeks on tour to get our sea legs together.
To see how it gelled out.
Show, and then see if it would make sense to film it and record it.
Yeah. Because the G3 stuff, as we all know, the DVDs have been incredibly successful. And
yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards doing it. Obviously, it's not entirely my decision. Everybody has to come to agreement on it.
No, but if everyone seems to be having fun and seems to be a good vibe, and
it's not the Steve Vai project. I might have had the idea and shared it, but everybody's
absolutely. But let's not beat around the bush. You've got your own studio. You're a very accomplished producer, etc., etc. You would be the obvious choice to put it together.
Yeah,
if it was going to happen,
I like doing that.
Even if we're just talking about making it cost effective.
Yeah. Well, you got to connect those dots too.
If I was managing it, I wouldn't be looking at anyone else in the room.
Well, I've always enjoyed I've always enjoyed the music business.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed the creative the technical creative process of recording. I've always had my own studios, and for me, it's business as usual. So
Yeah.
So I know the business pretty well.
Yeah,
I'm
you
pretty
do.
good at connecting the dots because I can take a relatively non-reactive perspective to something and look at it and say, okay, what makes the most sense here? What's the solutions? And then when you have that perspective, they come on your radar.
Yeah. I've got to ask you one last thing. I keep meaning to ask you this. What is the deal with that necklace? Chain, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, because does it have some sort of significance, or is it just a bunch of random rings?
Lovely woman, this Italian. She's Italian. She lives in Sweden, and she's a jeweler. She made it for me, and it has all these. She just put so much love into it that when
because you always wear it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the reason I wear it is so. That's why I wear it. I don't really wear jewelry.
Right, no.
'Cause I forget I have the earrings and stuff.
Yeah.
I need glasses.
Right.
And these are, 3-way prescriptions.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So
they kind of
it's always good to have a place to put them.
To put them out. Right. Gotcha.
I've worn it probably every day for like 8 years.
I've seen every photograph I've seen you in recently.
It's not
Every time I've
something that it's like
seen
an
you.
identity that I associate.
Well, I you know what? I thought maybe it's some planetary thing. I don't know. You never know with you. It could be. It could be the Italian version of custard on your head. I mean, who knows? You got some pretty.
Well,
which is cool.
If somebody created an identity for this as having some kind of significance to the universe because of its planetary representations, then that's fine.
Well, I
don't do anything.
I didn't know. I just thought it was always a cool thing, and I thought, well, you always wear it, so it must be special to you.
Well, it is special because of the love that went into making it, and also all the wonderful things that are written on it.
Brilliant. Well, Steve, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you again, and it seems you're always coming up with these great ideas. You never seem to stop. You always stay positive and keep moving, which I think is
that's where I get my nut. I get my juice from that. Why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
And
what are you here for,
Exactly, and it inspires other people as well, which is great. So it's inspiring to me. So I want to thank you very, very much. Once again, I know you only got out of bed not too long ago.
That's okay. I want to tell you that we're having a great time on this tour.
Yeah. Okay. And is there anything, because I only really found out yesterday that we were going to be getting together, so I don't even know if there's anything happening with equipment. If there's anything else you'd like to mention or anything you'd like to talk about.
Oh, the gear is all the same.
It's just the same.
You find it in a million different places.
It's the same stuff.
I'm not really. I'm happy to. I'm okay talking about it, but it's.
We know it's the most successful.
Relatively uninteresting.
Yeah, but it is the most successful signature guitar of all time. Let's just mention that again, which is, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it is. If it's not, it's up there.
Well, you say I've said that before.
Yeah.
And I've gotten attacked by the Les Paul, but technically, from what I understand, and none of this really makes any difference to me, but the Les Paul's not really a signature guitar.
Right.
Used for some reason. None of it makes any difference, but I can tell you this. I'm very grateful for the success of the Gem and the RG and all of that. Very grateful.
It's been fantastic. Anyway, like I say, great to see you again. Good luck tonight. I'm going to try and get on the list, and if this comes out before this tour is over, I'm sure there's going to be one of many tours because it's been incredibly successful. Generation Acts. Check it out. Steve, great to see you again, mate.